Hi, my name is Stu. I want to show you some of my color floats. I've been collecting for about 34 years since I was a teenager, and love to be on the beach and love to collect these things. But here I wanted to show you some of the floats I have. This isn't everything, but it gives you kind of an idea. First of all, I want to show you one that I got from a friend that found it on the South Caicos Islands. This is a real pretty lavender color. The sun has turned it over many years. It's just a beautiful float, size of a grapefruit. It's kind of a real pretty purple, light lavender. Next one I want to show you is a beer bottle brown grapefruit size float, half full of water, no visible cracks. Very interesting because it's an unusual color with water and half full. Next one I want to show you is a real pretty lavender float. This one's almost like a grape lavender. It's really beautiful. Really stands out with the other floats. This is a baseball sized amber float with a shiny star on the seal button. You probably can't see that real well, but it's got a pretty cool star on it. Real pretty beer bottle color. This float is called a Blodgett Blue, and this one's unusual because it has a marking on it. I don't know if you can see that or not. Almost looks like an X. But these floats are fairly rare, very collectible. Everybody loves these floats, but especially when you have one with a marking, which even makes them more unusual. I was actually the one that named this float because I knew Cliffy Dawn Blodgett very well, and I got several floats from her many years ago, and she found 7 of these on one tide line on the Long Beach Peninsula in Washington, and 7 of these Blodgett Blues, and that's why we call it Blodgett Blue. This is a gorgeous cinnamon colored rolling pin. I don't know if you can see that color, but it's definitely cinnamon. Very beautiful. This next one I want to show you is just unique because it's almost like a Blenko glass. It has just a billion bubbles in it, just completely throughout the whole entire float. Very neat. I want to show you the next one. This is unusual because green is fairly hard to come by, especially this intense. This is a real intense Kelly green, a real bright green, real intense. And green floats are out there obviously, but this intense is very desirable. This is an actual yellow glass float. It's the size of a golf ball. Very cool. Yellows are very tough to get too, especially a real one, because they're just very hard to find. This is a small cranberry float with a Japanese marking, and when you can find them complete, a cranberry float with a marking makes it a little bit more rare than just a regular cranberry float. This is one of the very desirable, it's called a Teal and a Diamond float. This one's a very deep, almost a black amethyst. It's very intense. I know it's very difficult to see, I'm sure. This is a purple rolling pin. This isn't sun colored. This is actual color of the glass. I got this in a trade. This was found in 1952 at Cape Lookout State Park. That's on the north central Oregon coast. Very beautiful float. One of my very favorite floats is my teal roller. This one was found in 1948 on Manzanita, which is more on the north central Oregon coast. It's north of Cape Lookout, but this is just an incredible float. The color is just very, very intense. I was offered a tremendous amount of money for this and was probably foolish not to ever get rid of it, but I'm glad I didn't. Then you have the rolling pin with a deep blue seal button on it, which is fairly rare in a Tohokio roller. I want to show you some of my larger colored floats. This is my Kita float here. Beautiful honey amber, 14-incher, size of a beach ball. It has a beautiful stamp marking on it. It's a pretty cool float. Then I have, this is my very, very intense cobalt blue. This is about the size of a soccer ball, found in the South Pacific, on a South Pacific island. Very, very crude, very, very old, very intense Vicks bottle blue. Just a beautiful float. And I have, this is a solid, opaque, black pumpkin float. This was found on Hokkaido Island of Japan, northern Japan. It was found after a typhoon. It had been buried in the sand. It's totally opaque. Can't even see through it. This one is also called a pumpkin. They're very unique shaped. They're smashed down like a pumpkin. This one has several patches of glass on it where they just threw a piece of glass on, apparently to be able to use it. Then I have, this is a basketball size, another very intense green. This is a two-piece mold. You can see the seam going around that. This is a long line tuna fishing float. Japanese probably. This float is quite rare. It's got what's called a Hachinoi mark on it. It looks like a P and an upside down V. But it's a beautiful, beautiful deep blue. This is my purple float. This one was found in 1955 in Port Heiden, Alaska. The Coast Guard waded out into the ocean to get it. Very, very beautiful. And then last but not least, this orange float here is my rarest float in my collection. This came from my wife's grandmother. She found it in 1934 at Sand Lake, which is south of Cape Lookout. And that is some of my colored floats. If you ever have anything that you'd like to sell or ever have any questions, you can contact me the following: westwindsblowing@yahoo.com, all lowercase. Thank you very much.